The Ecumenical Social Week is a traditional autumn event. This is a unique opportunity for representatives of civil society, religious institutions, mass media, politicians, educators, and young people to discuss openly the most pressing problems of society. This is an opportunity to think about ways to address them in context of intersectorial cooperation. The Ecumenical Social Week is that innovative platform which helps us to gain new strength to move forward. The 7th Ecumenical Social Week, under the topic Responsibility of a Christian in Modern Society, lasted from September 29th to October 4th, 2014 in Lviv. The expert board of the Ecumenical Social Week, involving representatives of the Institute of Ecumenical Studies, Ukrainian Catholic University, Lviv City and Regional Councils, Lviv Regional State Administration, and the National University of Lviv Polytechnic, given the current socio-political situation in the country, initiated this topic. Today, our country is in a state where everyone must play an important role in shaping its future and to build a strong and powerful country. Every citizen is challenged to defend rights and freedom and also to carry out their mission with personal responsibility. The opening of the 7th Ecumenical Social Week began with an ecumenical prayer for peace in Ukraine. The prayer was led by Friar Bogdan Prok, rector of Ukrainian Catholic University. Representatives of Lviv Christian denominations blessed the forum and filled the prayer with the ecumenical spirit. With this prayer and this common ecumenical prayer service, we open the 7th Ecumenical Social Week, the responsibility of a Christian in modern society. In their sermons, priests stressed the importance of the Ecumenical Social Week, the days of convergence, unity, love, and friendship with a view to a common good. After the prayer, the academic conference with Ukrainian and international public and religious figures began. In their speeches and debates, they paid great attention to the discussion of state processes in Ukraine. They examined the role and place of the Church according to the law of the state and shared the ecumenical experience of their countries. Another question for thought was the modern socio-political situation in the east of Ukraine that currently has military operations. Today we see that the irresponsibility of many people has led to a multitude of problems. We must realize that wherever we were placed, on whatever post, big or small, everywhere, we need to be very responsible, either for family life or for the state. The speakers have reached a common opinion that Christian values should be incorporated in the basis of legal processes in Ukraine. This is a wonderful tradition in Lviv at the Ukrainian Catholic University, with the support of regional and city authorities of Lviv, to enable church leaders, church movements, spiritual values to influence social development and transformations taking place in the country. The second day of the 7th Ecumenical Social Week started with hierarchical liturgy, which took place at Lviv Theological Seminary of the Holy Spirit of the Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church. This service was led by Archbishop Cyril Vasil, Secretary of the Congregation for the Oriental Churches. The common prayer was held in the ecumenical spirit. People were praying for forgiveness, salvation, and unity, and also asked for peace in eastern Ukraine. In his sermon, Archbishop Cyril spoke about the importance of trust in our lives through which the Christian finds and affirms the belief in one God. An integral part of the 7th Ecumenical Social Week has become the academic conference dedicated to one of the most important events in the history of the Church of the last century, the Second Vatican Council and its legacy. The purpose of the council was to renew the Church of Christ, its openness to the challenges and needs of the modern world, and it was the Second Vatican Council that outlined the new challenges in the ecumenical vocation of the Church, which not only seeks unity among Christians, but also comes in a broad dialogue with representatives of non-Christian religions.
Другий Ватиканський собор.
In the Second Vatican Council, when Pope John Paul II was asked why he wanted to convene the council, he said he wanted to open the windows for fresh air to blow.
Щоб свіжий воздух подув у церкві.
He did it for the faithful of the Catholic Church, but in fact, for the whole of Christianity.
Але фактично для цілого християнства.
Theologians and clergy discuss the Church, ecumenism, the role of Eastern Catholic churches, and talked about the mission and the prospects of the Orthodox Catholic dialogue. Speakers debated about the influence of religion on the formation and development of civil society and shared social service experience of churches abroad and in Ukraine. In Ukraine, traditionally, for several years already, the church has been standing as an institution which people trust, and of course, it imposes great responsibility, which is significant for Ukraine. Today, when the war is in progress, when Ukraine is going through a very difficult transformation, the voice of the church is more important than ever. The speakers noted that Ukraine, with its age-old history and rich, powerful religious heritage, has great power and is open to unity.
It does seem to me that you have two things in the Ukraine which are really important and significant. One of those is still a strong religious tradition and heritage, a religious imagination, much more so than is in Britain or within many of the European countries that I visit. The other is your ecumenical, the way in which you are concerned about being ecumenical.
The head of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis, thoroughly examines the issue of ecumenism in practice. In one of his pontificates, the Pope put Christian unity and brotherhood in the first place, which became the main direction in his teachings on ecumenism.
Francis, first of all, is that unity is a gift, but we have to prepare this gift. We have to prepare our hearts, we have to prepare our churches to receive this wonderful gift of unity.
The participants and speakers came to a common view that the Second Vatican Council became a significant continuation of ecumenism of love between the Catholic and Orthodox churches and contributed to the achievement of visible unity between them.
Цей екуменічний тиждень, який проходить,
This ecumenical week and these conferences
як церкви,
seek to show how the church can participate in this dialogue
як можуть
and how certain documents and ways of cooperation between various Christian churches can be worked out.
різних християнських церков.
During the conference, the participants shared their experience of the ecumenical movement in their countries and noted that the role of religion and the church is important in all spheres of activity and plays an important role in shaping the ecumenical society.
Germany, the land of the country of the Reformation, and it took a long time to overcome this separation. Now, churches in Germany work together in many fields, especially in fields of social action, in education, and in other respects to defend human rights and to cooperate in the support of the non-developed countries of the world.
Summarizing the work of the conference, Legacy of the Second Vatican Council, Friar Ivan Datsko confirms that the major contribution of the Second Vatican Council was precisely this ability to speak freely and to act in the ecumenical movement, in brotherhood and love, to build our life in order to achieve peace in the world. In parallel with the international conference, political figures, journalists, social activists, and educators debated at round tables. The first roundtable was dedicated to mission in the profession, journalist responsibility to society. Participants emphasized that the mission of a journalist was and is very important at all times, but especially during the social upheavals. The most important mission of the journalist is to objectively and comprehensively inform society about what is happening, and this mission is relevant at all times, peacetime or wartime. This mission is relevant at all times. On specific examples of the work of the famous online edition, journalists presented those changes that the information war brought up in Ukrainian journalism and told the participants about media responsibility at the time of an information war. They also discussed challenges faced by all media workers. Information wars cause the most damage because they change people's minds. They manipulate people's consciousness, and they are information wars that can change our minds and our Christian values. In the framework of the Roundtable on Civil Liability in Times of Social Transformation, the speakers considered the notion of crisis as a phenomenon of social life. This raised the issue of values and norms that shape social capital against the backdrop of revolutionary events that shook Ukraine. Social capital is the glue that holds the society together and makes it strong. We saw during the Maidan that our society showed itself that it's able to self-organize without a ruler. People did everything they felt was necessary to defend their position. Participants came to a conclusion that the role of the church in the social mission is very important, and every Christian should make every effort in this work. While being in the ATO zone, many soldiers feel the importance of the role of the military chaplain who is present with them constantly. In other words, as they begin to ponder many problems that accompanied them throughout life and that remained unresolved, the priests of various denominations help them to solve correctly the difficulties of life which they find in the military. Another important event of the 7th Ecumenical Social Week was the seminar of the Ukrainian Christian Academic Society, Memory, History, Identity. Representatives of the Christian churches discussed the role of religion during the Revolution of Dignity 2014 and justified Christian preconditions for future social change. The subject of charity and social service is always key to the forum. This year's Ecumenical Social Week brought together representatives of various social organizations from Ukraine, France, and Lithuania, which, during the roundtables, exchanged their experience, talked about the challenges, and the victories which they meet in daily work. The main vectors of discussions at the roundtable, the formation of socially responsible society, European experience, Ukrainian perspectives, were the role of social service in the Christian life, work of public and charitable organizations, and prospects for attracting local communities to solve social problems.
We are not a charity organization, but we work very much with charity organizations of all kinds, depending on the subject we want to tackle. Our main objective is to train, to form each individual co-citizen, and particularly Christian, to be responsible in the society. Politic or social action, whatever helps to manage the common good. So we modestly try to inspire the social teaching of the Church and to spread the social teaching of the Church.
The Ecumenical Social Week became a platform where participants summarize years of work in social and charitable spheres. Progress in these cases is an important indication that the society is open to cooperation and sacrifice. In order to get the public to realize its social role in the country, it is necessary to increase the quality of education and professional skills of each sociologist and social worker. This was discussed during the roundtable on social responsibility of sociologist and social worker as a sign of professionalism. Models of socialization of challenged individuals on the basis of experiences in large communities. Under this theme, at the premises of Ukrainian Catholic University, was held another roundtable. Representatives of the Ukrainian L'Arche told about the formation and development of the community and shared their plans for the future. Ukraine has the first and only community of L'Arche. Our community in Lviv unites more than 110 members, 70 people with disabilities, 30 staff members, and the administrative board and volunteers. Very creative and inspired witnesses of the coordinator and friends from the workshop Nazareth of the Ukrainian community L'Arche were completing this roundtable. They told the audience about their daily victories, embodied dreams, and thanked everyone for their support. After the sessions were completed, all those who were interested visited the Lviv Geriatric Home and Children's Orphanage of the Salesian Brothers. The director of the home spoke about the history of the institution, the everyday life of elderly people, and how they live within the walls of the house, which is known as Old But Not Alone. The Salesian monastic community helps children and young people and educates them as honorary citizens and good Christians. It is one of the largest religious congregations of the Catholic Church. On June 1st, 2014, the brothers opened in Lviv a house called Family House Pokrova. This house is for around 80 children of different ages. Thanks to donors, the orphanage has at its disposal a large gym and sports hall where the boys are able to improve their endurance and training in order to win various Ukrainian and international competitions. During the week, the forum guest visited the traveling exhibition Charity Through the Prism of a Lens. The exhibition organizers aim to show how great charity can be and how much joy and warmth it gives to people who need support and help. This photo exhibition is being held for the fourth time with high-quality works. This year, there were 550 participants, 40 works were exhibited, and in the selection of these photos, the national team of the photographers were involved. The final stage of discussions and debates at the 7th Ecumenical Social Week became a fair of social organizations, which allowed citizens and city guests to get acquainted with the activities of various charitable organizations and help them in their care for disadvantaged people. During the Ecumenical Social Week, the participants had the opportunity not only to present their thoughts to everyone in the form of speeches or discussions, but also to meet interesting authors during the presentation of their books. In 2013, Anton Arzhakovsky introduced his first book to the forum, Waiting for the Pan-Orthodox Council. During this year's Ecumenical Social Week, the second book of the author was presented. Ukraine is a country where there are about 25 million Orthodox, and I wanted people in Ukraine to know about the situation that surrounds the preparation of this council. On October 1st, 2014, in the Philosophy and Theology Faculty Building of the Ukrainian Catholic University, a presentation of a new Ukrainian translation of the documents of the Second Vatican Council took place. The project was implemented by the Institute of Religion and Society at the Ukrainian Catholic University in collaboration with the professors of the Philosophy and Theology Faculty of the Ukrainian Catholic University. The new Ukrainian translation of the edition, supplemented with comments, was released by the publishing house Svichado. The team that worked on the book release emphasized that this book is another step towards a strong understanding and mastering of the documents of the Second Vatican Council.
Я дуже щасливий, що ця книга нарешті вийшла, тому що
I'm very happy that this book has been finally published because these are the documents of the Second Vatican Council in modern Ukrainian language. The first edition was of the diaspora. The Ecumenical Social Week consists not only of active discussions at conferences and roundtables, but also a time to relax together in a friendly, cultural, and spiritual atmosphere and to communicate with interesting people. At the end of the second day of the forum, a gala dinner to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Institute of Ecumenical Studies was held. Guests of the event were able to greet the president of the Institute of Ecumenical Studies, Friar Ivan Datsko, and the whole team with professional achievements in research and educational work, and also practical activity in the field of interfaith and interreligious relations. At the same time, in the House of Scientists, a charity gala dinner, Night Against Poverty, took place. The event brought together people around the idea of overcoming poverty in Ukraine. The event was attended by community leaders and representatives of business and government. This is the first such event in Lviv, and organizers are hoping that it will start a tradition of charity in this way. This year is our first, but I hope that it will get a good response from the people, from Lviv citizens, and also I hope that it will become a discussion platform not only for Lviv, but for the whole of Ukraine. The event program included the gala dinner, auction, art installation about the histories of the homeless women, and awarding the best volunteer initiatives of Lviv. The money collected at the charity evening, Night Against Poverty, will be handed to repair the Center of Integrated Care for Women in Crisis. I think we should not miss this moment, the moment of need and of help. How many people are in need of help, and often we do not even think about it. We do not have time to return. For the first time during the Ecumenical Social Week, an event in the new format, Bar Camp on Youth Initiative, the requirement of time, the need of society, was held. The meeting was aimed at helping active young people gain skills in developing grant projects and build effective teams. Participants took part in workshops and free discussions. We organized this opportunity so that young people with initiative could express themselves, and for this they need different skills. We prepared one training class which involves writing grants, and our coach was O. Sledkovska. The second training class was about the team of your dream, conducted by A. Sadocha. After the sessions, the participants had an opportunity, together with friends of L'Arche community, to participate in the workshop for the manufacture of soap and view a biography film about Bogdan Havralishchin. The organizers emphasized that the life example of Bogdan Dmitrovich, who began his career working as a logger and a waiter in Canada and became a scientist with a worldwide reputation and Doctor of Economics at the University of Geneva and an honorary doctor of 5 universities in Canada and Ukraine, should inspire the younger generation to get to know ourselves more deeply and to educate ourselves. A genuine religious and cultural event of the forum became the Night of Sacred Music, Prayer for Ukraine. Within the walls of the Dominican Cathedral, city choirs created a prayerful and musical atmosphere in which forum participants, citizens, and city guests were able to pray together for peace in Ukraine. The main goal of the Ecumenical Social Week was to unite social and charitable organizations, churches, universities, youth associations, philanthropic foundations, the business sector, and government institutions around proposals that can gain wide acceptance. In general, during 5 days within the 7 Ecumenical Social Week, over 20 roundtables, seminars, presentations, and workshops took place. It should be noted that the participation of the representatives of the National Network of the Ecumenical Social Week were from different cities of Ukraine who developed networks of the Ecumenical Social Weeks of Ukraine. The forum organizers sincerely thank all the partners, speakers, moderators, participants, and all people who care and once again supported the initiative of the Ecumenical Social Week and contributed to the development of civil society in Ukraine.